All right, let's close the podcast, taking a look back at the Marvel side of things with the X-Men. Snick. And we're looking at, you couldn't see this. It was covered by the microphone, but they're there. They're just imaginary claws for our audio listeners. Just throwing out the imaginary Wolverine claws. But what I want to look at is kind of with the Disney Fox deal, with that now being secured, because for everything that was going on, I was confused about it. I know you guys probably were too. It looks like Comcast came in with an offer, basically the dump truck full of money, and just said, here you go. Here's more money than Disney's offering you. We want Fox. Disney then came back with about a $70 to $71 million offer, and that was just with the same stock shares that they had in there, just more money on top of it. It looks like Fox is now going to be sold to Disney, and the bad thing of it is Comcast didn't even want the X-Men or anything. They just wanted some like broadcasting company in the UK. That's all they cared about, which for me, I'm like, what? Really? That's why you were trying to disrupt my X-Men coming to the MCU? But Disney will get them. They're going to get their IPs. So the X-Men and the Fox properties could be coming to the MCU sooner than you may think. However, what it looks like is that it's not going to happen until after the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 movie, Guardians 3 basically, is when we could start seeing X-Men movies in the MCU. So the timeline as of right now, this week, as you guys are watching this, probably a day away from Ant-Man and the Wasp. That is the next movie to come out, Ant-Man and the Wasp, if I can enunciate that correctly. Then in March of next year, 2019, we'll have Captain Marvel. Then May, maybe April, if they move it up again, we'll get the next Avengers film. That's going to be 2019. Then that July is going to be that Spider-Man Far From Home movie. And then sometime in 2020, we will have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume Trace. And I know that they've said that we're not going to get X-Men until after Guardians 3. I know that James Gunn was asked about it, and he said, I'm way too far into the process to change things like that. We're going to get that. Like, there's no way Fox sells Disney these products and we don't see something. We've got to see something. So for me, I'm just going to kind of talk to you guys about some things that are circling in my head for how they can introduce these. And my big thing is, I know what movie I want to target. There's just different cutscenes that you could do. So the movie I would target is Avengers Infinity War. Well, Infinity War 2 and Endgame, whatever it's called. Avengers 4, that's what I target. After Thanos is defeated, yay, the Avengers win. Depending on if anyone dies too. Like, I just thought about that. If like Tony dies, you know what? Even if Tony dies or Cap dies, you could still do it. But like the classic one, and this was even in the comment section for one of our movies as well, is that you have your Charles Xavier be your moving off, your jumping off point. And we actually got a comment about this when Johnny and I did our Avengers 4 theory about Professor Hulk. This comes from Demon King, my boy. And he is talking about, this is what he said. He said, my thoughts on Avengers moving forward. Wow. Let me start by saying that Comcast isn't outbidding Disney. They did not. You are correct. They aren't going to spend $72 billion on this. So Disney has Fox in the bag, and the deal will be done before the next Avengers film. It could be. Like, many people are saying that, you know what, it's going to be done July of 2019, which would be after. But now I'm hearing it could be done before that, sooner than a lot of people think. So that might be right also. He then goes on to say, and for the next Avengers film, the after credit scene, well, one of them, will be the man known as Charles Xavier in the final post-credit scene. Hopefully Patrick Stewart, but it won't, sadly. Yeah, it's not going to be Patrick Stewart because he said after Logan, bye, I'm done. I'm walking out on this. That's how good it was. And that was my first thought too, is you rope it in that way, where basically with all the time travel that we see, maybe, boom, this happens. Or you just introduce, hey, we've been here. You just haven't noticed us in some way. Really short scene, a Charles Xavier kind of nod where they just say Charles and you see the bald head or something, like something really small. Here's another thing, though, that I thought about that they could do too is, and with these two is, oh, well, what if you don't have the actor picked out? Well, for Charles Xavier, just show a bald head from behind. Doesn't matter who it is at that point. Just the bald head from behind. We know who it is. And then that leaves you to where, okay, we could cast him at a later date. The other one I'm thinking is involving Magneto, because what if, oh, and this could be great, because to this point, Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, we haven't been able to use the word mutants. We've been using the word, oh, they're miracles. They're little miracles. No, they're mutants. We know they're mutants. We just couldn't use it because of rights and who owns those rights. But now that Fox is selling these rights to Disney, what if it's a post-credit scene after Avengers basically revealing to Scarlet Witch that you are a mutant? You are a mutant, revealing that she's a mutant, revealing that she is Magneto. Well, do you reveal? Yeah. You reveal that she is Magneto's daughter, because he would basically be telling her that she's a mutant. And then you have, boom, that kind of a shock. I don't think they go that route, because that would be more of like, all right, we just did a next Avengers movie and we want to set up a House of M movie. So if they do that House of M Scarlet Witch movie, then I could see them doing that. I don't see them touching Wolverine, like no after credit scene with a Wolverine, because how, like, John and I have talked about that mainly when it was Fox, is when's going to be the right time to recast for Hugh Jackman? I don't know if you're there yet. So, I mean, for me, I think it comes after, like, I don't think we wait until the end of Guardians to get the X-Men. I'm saying it's an after credit scene after Avengers 4, because why not? At that point, you've already, like, because, I'm trying to think too. Like, the reason why I'm saying after credit scene is they're so easy to splice in there. Like, you could be done with filming. We want to add this after credit scene. You can go ahead and do that. And this is something where maybe the Scarlet Witch one they don't do, because then they got to get Elizabeth Olsen in, and that's more work. I think they do. Like, I would introduce them at the end of the Avengers 4 movie, because, like, I feel like if I want an introduction, there's 3 routes I have. Introduce Charles Xavier, so it's like, boom, the X-Men are here. And then you just say, instead of like Doctor Strange will return, Thor will return, you just do X-Men are coming, where it's an after credit scene. Boom, you reveal Charles Xavier. It fades to black, and you just see the font in the middle of the screen that say X-Men. The X-Men are coming. Hype everyone up. Just get them jumping out of their seats. The Magneto thing, I think, would be cool. It's like, okay, we can finally use mutants in the MCU, but I don't think it'll have the same hit as Charles Xavier. The last one I'm thinking is if they go with that, because we're also supposed to get an Eternals movie too. And I think in Avengers 4, they're going to kind of hint at that Eternals movie, but what if after Guardians of the Galaxy, they make a reference to Galactus or MODOK or kind of the next big threat that is out there, or they make some reference, like, to me, if you're going to wait until after Guardians, it's because you're introducing a Galactus, you're introducing a MODOK. Like, that is your MO. Like, you are introducing the next big baddie that you are going to do. However, I don't see them doing another Thanos thing. Like, this was special, having all these movies kind of line up and going right into Thanos. So I don't know if they do it the same exact way that they did. I think that Avengers 4 is the target point. That's what you target. And you just do that. Like, Charles Xavier seems like the best one. You could do one with Magneto. I mean, you could even do one where it's... Oh, now I'm trying to think. Like, do you do a Jean or a Scott one? Not necessarily. Like, I keep coming back to the same thing Demon King was saying. Just have it be Charles Xavier. Have it be after the Avengers 4 movie. And then there you go. Then you don't have to do it until after Guardians because you have your next 2 movies planned out. Here's the other thing, and this is kind of off the Marvel X-Men a little bit and on Fox X-Men. I get that you want to make the money from the films, but at this point, why put out the Dark Phoenix saga and the New Mutants movie? Like, why? Why do that? Because to me, with those two, and this kind of brings back Disney into it, they're going to get recast. Like, Disney is going to recast these movies. So for me, I get the point, and people in the comment section, I get the point when you say, well, they want to make money. They spent money on this movie. They want to get some return for it, not just burn the money. I get that. But part of me is like, as a moviegoer, why should I be excited for a Fox movie that has not been on the same level as a MCU movie when I know the X-Men are going to MCU? So that was just something that was sitting a little bit inside of me, and I just had to let that out. But that's what I'm thinking. I know that I talked about it a little bit, like bounced off the wall and give a concrete one. I don't think that they do a Wolverine post-credit. I don't think they do any of the other Avengers. Magneto would be cool. They could show like a Galactus and what we could see from a greater threat after the Guardians movie. But the one I think you go with, Charles Xavier after the Avengers film, throw it out there, put it on the screen, the X-Men are coming. And that's all you need to do. That is all you need to do. And then you let Deadpool kind of be over here, let him do his own thing, and you can worry about throwing him in at a later date. So this is where you guys come in. Let me know what you think down below in that comment section. This is where the creativity flows. I want to hear your post-credit. So kind of a little homework assignment for you. I want you to create a post-credit after whatever Marvel movie you think. So it could be after Guardians, it could be after Avengers. How would you introduce the X-Men into the MCU? Give me some in-depth post-credit scenes. Maybe Johnny and I will read some really good ones on future podcasts. But thank you guys for checking out this solo edition of the Rick and Johnny podcast. Johnny will be back with me next week. We will have our review for Ant-Man and the Wasp as well. Little housekeeping here to close things up. Patreon.com. That link is down below in the description if you want to help support MVP more so than you guys do each and every day. Also, go check out our store if you want to get your hands on a MVP t-shirt. You can also check out the store and all of our content on mostavailablepodcasts.com. And then last but not least, please go into iTunes, give the Rick and Johnny podcast a 5-star rating, and then type a little something about why everyone else should listen to the podcast. I want to thank you guys for checking out on audio. I want to thank you guys for watching this solo edition. And as always, have a good day, everybody.